by inserting the diffuser strips into the T-track at the top of the front and rear profiles. Loosely attach 4 M8 screws and square nuts to the wind diffuser. Slide the wind diffuser into the rear T-track on the front profile. Center the wind diffuser. Then tighten the screws 2 to 3 turns with your fingers to secure it in place. Loosely attach 2 M8 screws and square nuts to each corner bracket. Attach the front left and front right corner assemblies to the front profile. Tighten the screws with the 6mm hex key. We recommend that you use a torque wrench to torque the screws to 15 Newton-meters. Install an M8 screw and square nut into the back logo plate. Slide the logo plate into the lower T-track on the rear profile and center it. Tighten the screw to 4 Newton-meters with the 6mm hex key or a torque wrench. With the back logo plate installed, attach the rear left and rear right corner assemblies to the rear profile. Tighten the screws with the 6mm hex key. We recommend that you use a torque wrench to torque the screws to 15 Newton-meters. The side profiles also feature logo plates that must be installed before attaching the corner brackets. Install 2 M8 screws and square nuts into each logo plate. Insert the logo plates into the lower T-track and position them in the center of the side profiles. Tighten the screws to 4 Newton-meters with a 6mm hex key or a torque wrench. Thule Caprock features 5 or 6 crossbars depending on the model. Insert 5 or 6 square nuts into the inner T-track on each side of the profiles. The square nuts will be used to attach the crossbars to the outer platform. Connect the front and rear sections to the side profiles. Insert 4 of the T20 torque screws into the upper T-track on the side profiles. Use the provided T20 Torx key or a torque wrench to tighten the torque screws to 4 Newton-meters. Then, tighten the adjacent M8 screws to 15 Newton meters with a 6mm hex key or a torque wrench. To attach feet to Thule Caprock's crossbars, remove the pre-installed end cap with the T25 Torx key. Slide 2 Thule Evo feet into the lower channel of the crossbar. Reinstall the end caps and tighten the Torx bolts to 10 Newton meters using the T25 Torx key or a torque wrench. The position of the feet on the crossbars will depend on a vehicle's specific roof rack fit. Using the installation instruction from the foot pack, make sure the bars have adequate spread and are evenly spaced. Loosely attach the crossbars with the feet to the outer profiles using the M8 screws and 6mm hex key. With the assistance of another person, lift the Thule Caprock onto the vehicle. Depending on the vehicle's height, the use of 2 ladders or benches is recommended. Position the Thule Caprock so that it's centered laterally on the feet and the vehicle. Adjust the fairing to leave a small gap between it and the vehicle's roof. Tighten the M8 screws to 15 Newton meters with the 6mm hex key or a torque wrench once the fairing is at the desired height. If the vehicle is equipped with a tailgate or hatch, ensure that there is adequate clearance between it and the rear of the roof platform. Loosely attach the remaining crossbars and position the bars so that they're evenly spaced. Then tighten all the M8 screws to 15 Newton meters with a 6mm hex key or a torque wrench. Check to make sure that all hardware is properly torqued and that Thule Caprock is secured to the vehicle.